What'd you do for fun when you lived in Mountain View?
Oh, when we lived in Mountain View, I just, of course, a little kid then, but I remember I always had a playhouse in the summer, and I loved this playhouse, and I'd make mud pies and mud bread and all kinds of stuff, and I amused myself that way. And then we were quite close to Fish Creek, just close by. It was Fish Creek, oh, maybe a block away. South of there was a nice big hill there, and then a creek at the bottom, and we'd go down and play in this creek. It was a shallow creek, so we did that when it was hot weather.
There was nothing like fishing licenses or anything
Oh,
in
no.
those days.
No. Fish all you wanted.
Was that when you used to play school? I remember you talking about playing school.
Yes, that's where I started school when I was in Mountain View.
And was that where you used to play school with your brothers?
Yes.
And tell about that, Mom.
Well, I went to my first year at school. I had a sweet and lovely teacher, the name of Edith Harker. By the way, she lived to burn metal. And she was a beautiful young woman. And, I probably fell in love with her. And so sometimes I'd sit and look at her, and I thought, if I ever get big, I'd like to be like that. I'd like to sit in a seat like that and teach school. But anyway, she started teaching us, started teaching us our numbers and the alphabet and things like that. And I remember nearly every night after school, as quick as I'd get home, I'd set up my schoolroom. I would get chairs and Mother's table leaves. I'd make desks and seat my little brothers. One next to me was 3 years younger. And I think Lowell would be about 2 years younger than that, so you know they weren't very big. And I found a little exasperating teaching, but I sure tried. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Who was your best friend then, Mom?
Mary Parker, the bishop's daughter. There was about 6 girls my age, and we were all very friendly. It was just the most friendly time. It was all like one big family, instead of separate families.
How nice.
It was just a nice area to grow up as a child.
What was your meeting house like?
That was another thing. There was something there that happened that was tragedy in my childhood. Our first meeting house was a log building, and I've got a picture of that somewhere. And I've got a picture of me sitting with the whole ward, staying after Sunday school, just on the south side of the building, this old log schoolhouse. And I think I looked like I was about 5 years old when this was taken. And I could see Father, I could see Mother in this picture, I could see my sister Emma. Well, anyway, this log house was our meeting house, and they heated it with an old pot-bellied stove. Well, in the wintertime, one time, we always had meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That was the only meeting you had?
Oh, we had Sunday school in the morning at 10. Then we had sacrament meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Really? Wow.
And then we had mutual about 7 o'clock at night. That was our Sundays. And I remember this one particular time, it was cold. It was the midwinter. The cold winters get cold up there. And I guess they'd had to stoke the stove a lot in order to get it hot enough to heat the building. And I guess they'd gone off and forgotten that they should watch it, but they didn't. But anyway, these buildings are not too well built. And it caught fire up in the roof there somewhere. And time we looked out, we could see the building burning, and if that wasn't a tragedy. There was, of course, no things, the fire department never been heard of. And I guess the nearest one was maybe 60 to 100 miles away anyway.
Wow.
So all the it burned right to the ground.
Goodness.
And that was a tragedy. Then they got busy right away, and they started to build a rock building, and they did. But you know, there was, I wouldn't know how many nights that I would have nightmares in the night. And wake up just screaming and screaming because of the fire, the loss of this building. It affected me so that I couldn't hardly get over it. And I remember Mother and Father trying to console me, telling me not to worry, that it was gone now and forget about it. and they're gonna build a new one, and they did, they built a rock building.
How old were you then?
I think possibly, let's see, maybe 8 or 9,
When did you move to Cardston?
when I was 11.
Were you sorry
Moved,
to leave where you were?
in many ways, I had to leave my friends, and I had to go into a school where I didn't know anyone. That's quite a thing that time.
That'd only be about the 4th, 5th grade.
Pardon?
You'd only be in about the 5th grade at
Yeah,
11.
that's about where I was.
Mom, was it there that when your father got the piano? Or was it when you lived in Cardston?
Yes, I believe we got the piano on Mountain View, sure. I know
Tell,
we did.
tell about that. We have to hear the story of your father getting the
I
piano.
know Father got the piano when we were in Mountain View because my Uncle Will was on a mission in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And my Aunt Fanny, you all knew Aunt Fanny and Beulah, Aunt Fanny, Mother and Father invited her to come out and spend a month with us one summer. And Uncle Will was going to be released in the summertime, and they wanted him to come to Cardston, or to Mountain View, and then Aunt Fanny could come home with him. And I know we had the piano then. This is why I know.
Was Beulah born then?
Yes, she's younger than I am.
Uh-huh.
She's about maybe a year and a half, 2 years younger
It's
than me.
back in the days when they call a man on a mission even though he had a family.
Yes. But anyway, Aunt Fanny could play the piano. And so that, I know we had the piano then, I can remember. Because I had never been able to learn anything about the piano. I was fascinated by it. I'd go and fool with it, but I couldn't do anything about it, because I knew nothing about it. Well, when Aunt Fanny came, Father said to her, he said, Fanny, teach these girls as much as you can while you're here. To Emma and I, wasn't. He said, give them all that you can while you're here. Because he said, I'd like to get them started. Well, she did. She did the best she could. And then she left. And I could hardly leave the darn thing alone. Father, one time when he came back from one of his trips to Cardston, he brought a sheet of music. And you all know this sheet called this
Humoresque?
Humoresque. And it was not hard to play. It was quite simple. And Father showed it to us. He said, I brought a sheet of music home, girls, or a piece of music home, girls. And he said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want you girls to learn to play this. He said, the girl that plays this piece to my satisfaction first gets the piano when she's married. Well, that was an incentive, surely. But that wasn't my main incentive. My main incentive about that piano was that it fascinated me. I loved to play it, just to fool with it, make little tunes. Well, anyway, the short of the story was that after, I can't remember how long, how many months or what, I said to my father one day, well, I can play it, Father. And he said, let me hear you. I played it for him. Sure can. I beat Emma to it, and that's the only thing in my life I ever beat her at.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, did she never learn, or wasn't she interested
She
in it?
didn't seem to have the interest I did. Now, Emma was a top student at school. There was nothing that ever, she was just an A student straight through and everything. Always. I couldn't say that about me, because I was not.
Gosh, I'm glad to hear that.
But the end of the story is that you didn't really get the piano.
Emma got it.
How did that happen?
And I'll tell you why. Emma was married in Canada. See, and
Yeah.
I wasn't married, and I can't remember. This happened, I think, about the time when Emma was married. I